I just want to, if you're a man, every man here knows what I'm talking about. If you got something broken, there's got to be a manual to fix it. So if I can fix it, then I can get on with this other part of my life. And in the meantime, my career is just going down the tubes. I would literally sit in stools in clubs, and this is how I would perform. I would perform like this in a club, and I would do my little dog and pony thing, and then and wonder why clubs wouldn't want to hire me anymore. I hated performing, and my wife used to get so mad at me because the money was going down, and we were ready to file bankruptcy, which we eventually did, and I didn't care. You know, I did not. That was if you're in a marriage today that's full of acrimony and full of bitterness, wait till you get to apathy. I think apathy is Satan's greatest tool to use on the American people. On all people, because when you get to the point where you just don't care, God made us to care. And I didn't care. I didn't care, whatever you want, babe. That was my response to everything. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to do nothing anymore. I just shut down, and she would just try to shake me to life. She would just go, why can't you at least care about your job? You know how many people would love to stand on a stage and make people laugh? You're good at it. Why can't you at least care about that? And I'd go, for what? What's the point? Don't you get that? I would look at my wife and I'd go, don't you ever wake up and want to know why you're here? What the whole point of this is? Because I got some things for you, babe. Because if it's about going out there and bringing money home so that you can buy things or I can buy things, and then they wear out and we buy more things, and then they wear out, we buy more things. So basically what we're doing is gathering stuff up and bringing it into the house, and when it wears out, we take it out and we put it over there. We gather more stuff, because if that's life, if that's what it is, I'm checking out. Because that's not a human existence, that's a gerbil, for God's sakes. That's what gerbils do. They go to the one end of the cage and they bring sticks and they pile them up over here and they spin a wheel somewhere in the middle of it. There has to be more to this life than that. That's all I'm saying. And I got to figure it out. And I just, please, give me time. And she's like, 8 years I've given you. And it's just, Jeff, wake up. This is it. And I go, it sucks. There's got to be more. So anyway, this guy comes in my life one day, and I found out about him. And because of his wealth, because he was so rich, that he had access to just wonderful golf courses. You tell me God doesn't know us intimately. And I wanted him for his golf courses. God had other plans, but I had my own agenda. So I had my agent hook us up, and we go to play golf. And we're out on the golf course, and as men do in a cart, they just sit and they chat, and in between shots. And we got to talking about wealth and money, because I'm reading Ayn Rand, which is all about capitalism is the purest ideal, humanistic philosophy. And I said, so how do you accumulate wealth? And he said, you have to know the one that creates wealth in order to understand it. And enjoy it. And I've started to think about that, and I go, okay, I understand. But how do you create that? And he started talking about some stuff, and I went, that's really good. So where are you reading that at? And he goes, it's in the Bible. And I went, Bible? All right. A few holes go by, and we're talking again. He says something else, and I go, where did you read that? And he goes, it's in the Bible. And I said, stop it with the Bible, Phil, please. And he says, what's your problem? And I said, who reads the Bible? He said, I read the Bible. And I said, come on, Phil, it's so archaic. I mean, really, God's word? I mean, do you believe in God? He goes, I wholeheartedly. And I said, we got time. I'd love you to explain that to me. I mean, if nobody else seems to be able to. I just wanted, but I don't get it. And I said, he goes, what do you believe? And I said, I'm an atheist. I mean, honestly, I'm an atheist. I don't. And he said, well, then what's in the Bible that you don't think is true? And I said, I don't know. I never read it. And he said, well, then you're not an atheist. You're a moron. And any man in this room that suffers from a rage problem knows what happened to me. Man, the hair on my neck stood up, and my stomach shrunk up, and I wanted to hit him, but then I would have lost access to those nice golf courses. And if it's possible for an atheist to have an ethical quandary, I was in one. So I said, how so? And he said, I'll give you the short answer. And again, I'm paraphrasing, but it basically was this. If, in order to discount an infinite God in an infinite universe, you yourself have to have infinite knowledge of the entire universe. So what you're denying exists is an omniscient being. In order to deny that, you yourself have to be omniscient. It's a self-defeating argument. And when he said it to me, I went, what? He said, Jeff, you're just not smart enough to be an atheist. So why don't you shoot for agnosticism? And I said, what is that? He said, you know this, you don't know. Why don't you acknowledge that there's something in this universe, as vast as it is, that you don't know, that may be beyond your human capacity to understand. And I said, you don't know either. And he goes, well, see, that's where I disagree with you. And I said, he says, that's where my faith comes in. And he said, I'd love to sign you up for Bible study tapes. And he signs me up for these tapes. And I said, will it cost me any money? He goes, nope. And I said, well, then knock yourself out. And he says, can I send you a Bible? And I said, as long as it doesn't cost me anything, you can send me whatever you want. And sends me a Bible. The Bible came in the mail a few days later, whatever, and I put it in the junk drawer, and the tapes started coming. I put them up on the fridge. And again, folks, I'm going to figure this out on my own. And in the meantime, my marriage imploded. We filed a bankruptcy. That imploded, and my career was gone. Absolutely gone. And Tammy comes to me at the end of the school year, and she says, I'm going to Ohio. I can't take it, Jeff. She said, I need some time away from you. And when I'm gone, figure out what you're going to do with your life. I was coming up on my 40th birthday, and she said, please, Jeff, figure out what you're going to do with your life. And before she leaves, she gathers up these Bible tapes in a year and a half's worth now, folks, a year and a half pile of them in manila envelopes, none of them open, and she drops them at my feet. And she said, you either listen to these things or I'm pitching them in the trash. And that little voice, we all have a little voice inside of us, said just leave them. I hadn't opened them up or really given them much thought for a year and a half. They'd come in the mail, I'd throw them on the fridge or under the sink, wherever they fit. That's where I would throw them. See, God has a plan. God has a plan. And from hindsight, I can see the plan. I can't see it when I'm going in it. A year and a half's worth of Bible tapes. I needed a year and a half's worth because if I would open one up and if I enjoyed it or got into it,